Hi guys, sorry, looks like we lost connection there for a moment. I'm not sure at what point we lost connections, but at the end of the demo, well, probably tomorrow now, I'll be sending through a link to the full webinar. But okay, let's just kick on here. You can see now my administrator's view of PaySubs online. So this is what you would see administering your club online. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a basic account setup. So don't get lost too much in the detail, simply because if you decide to use our service, we do the setup process for you. Then I'm going to go over some of the most commonly used features that are going to save you a heap of time through using PaySubs online. And then hopefully by the end of the demo here, you'll have a good idea of what it's like to manage your members online, and then you can compare it to your current processes and then make a decision on what's best for your club. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up our membership categories. So I'm going to come over here to subscription options and membership categories. And I'm going to set up a new membership category. And we're just replicating your existing membership category. So I'm going to call this one maybe 2015 adult membership. It could be family membership, it could be student membership, it could be junior membership, whatever you're doing. If it's a family membership, we've got some functionality that helps you manage that. So a family membership for us is, say, mum, dad, little Johnny and little Janie. They're linked together and only one fee applies across all the different, one fee applies for all family members. If I select that, I can say, okay, how many people in that family membership can join together? So I don't know, maybe 6. And then we can also say, what other membership categories can members of the family membership group belong to without incurring additional costs? So maybe you want to put the son into the juniors and the mum and dad into the adults. So when you're sending out or organising things, they're included. So we can determine what other categories they can be included on. So yeah, that's very briefly our family membership setup. Okay, so for our adults, we can decide what happens at renewal time. So typically you want to give members the option to renew at the beginning of the season, but some clubs, they would they have like a monthly rolling membership, so people can just pay throughout the year, and I can select the frequency there. But let's go for the option to give members the option to renew. We can limit the number of people that can join this membership category. So if you're limited in space in any way, maybe any of your training facilities, whatever it might be, you can set a limit to the number of people who can join, and then any prospective members you can add to a waiting list. If you use membership numbers, you can prefix that membership number based on membership category people are in. I'm just going to select not applicable there. And the next step will be for cost. Okay, so we can put in the cost of this membership category. Let's say it's £40. We can give people an early payment discount, so we can discount it by a percentage or a fixed amount on or before a particular date. And once that date passes, the system would then revert back to the non-discounted rate. You can allow members to pay by instalments. Maybe if it's £40, perhaps you wouldn't do. Maybe if the fee is a little bit higher, you can allow people to spread the cost over, I don't know, whatever you want, maybe 4 monthly instalments. And anybody who opts to pay by instalments we would require them to pre-authorize future payments. So each time an installment becomes due, we automatically go off and collect the money, and we would reconcile it for you. You can also, if you did want to pay, allow people to pay by installment, a little bit more on there for the luxury of doing so. You can ask members to pre-authorize future payments. So think about maybe your training fees, your weekly training fees at the moment. Maybe they're bringing a few pounds to training, you're collecting that in cash, and you're having to go off and reconcile it and bank it, and you want to move to a cashless system. Well, you can ask all your members to pre-authorize future payments. So after each training session, maybe you want to just tick off who attended, how much they owe, and then the system will just go off and automatically collect that amount. So quite a nice thing to have. Okay, next would be what do we want to do when we're requesting payment? So is payment due on request? Typically yes, but you might say, actual fact, it's due within 10 days of payment. And all that means is when you're looking at your payment reports, there'll be a column there that says number of days overdue, and they wouldn't be shown as being overdue until those 10 days have lapsed. You can allow members to change membership category, typically not for a triathlon club, more for an organization where, I don't know, maybe they're changing from gold to silver or silver to gold, that kind of thing. When members pay, you can have the system move or copy them to a new group. So you might set up a group called paid members, and as members pay, they get copied into that group, and maybe you want to give the chairman access to that group so he can quickly log in and see who's paid, for example. Next one's important. Display the form for this membership category on the members online account. This goes back to what we was discussing earlier on with one of the previous slides, where at the moment you get the paper form for the renewal. Membership secretary has to cross-reference that against last year's spreadsheet. Here, members get an online account so they can log in and they can check their own information, and then they can obviously go on and pay. So yeah, I'm sure we want to give access to that membership form for them. Okay, next, allow prospective members to register for this membership category via the online registration page. Typically, yeah, we want to do that. It might be that we're late in the season and we've only got maybe a month or so to go, and you just want to turn off the option for anybody new to join. That's fine, you can do that. We can ask for payment at the point of registration or not. Some clubs like to vet members first before they accept them in, or maybe there's a trial period. Maybe you give 2 or 3 weeks trial to the club's facilities before you accept them. So maybe you'd select no. I'm going to select less because I'm happy to take their money as they register. Okay, so the last step is the email templates. So each membership category comes with its own set of email templates, and we give you that flexibility because the message you might want to send to one membership category might be different to another membership category. For example, the message you want to send to the adults might be different to what you send to the juniors. So we can come in here. This is the payment request email template. So let's assume that we're going to import all your members into the system and we're going to send out that renewal notification. We click on that, and this is what we're going to say: dear first name, and the system will obviously pull in what their first name is, a bit like a mail merge. The amount due is, this is what it's for, this is your username, which is their email address, and this is the link to the member login page where you're going to go off and log in and pay. And you can customize this, you can say anything you want in here, but those are the basic ones that you need in there. Welcome email, this is for new people registering. Again, you can customize this to whatever you want to say, but typically you want to give them their username and the link to the member login so they can manage their own info. You can upload an attachment, so maybe you want to send out a welcome pack, or maybe the club's code of conduct, whatever it might be. You can just do that, and so that automates that process so you don't have to spend time getting involved with that. And then lastly, we've got this overdue payment reminder. So you can turn this on and you can say, okay, after that initial payment request has gone out, maybe 10 days after that, send out this chaser email. Good, okay, so that's our membership category set up. The next thing that we would do is we would build the form for the membership category. So it's replicating your existing paper registration form, and we're bringing it online. So here we've got our adult membership. I can come through here, I can select any preset fields that we've got on the system. I can create custom fields. So maybe I want to put in, I don't know, the BTF number here. I can make fields mandatory. I can make it for internal use. I can make it view only, so people can see the information, but they can't edit it. I can make it free type. I can make it multiple choice. I can make it date related, and I can also insert statements onto the system. So maybe you've got some lengthy declarations and you want to paste the text in there. That's fine. You can do that. You can copy some preset templates. So we've got some pre-canned stuff here. So if I wanted to copy that from the preset one, I can do, and that's copied. And that's fine. If I wanted to, I don't know, order something differently, I can just drag and drop things around to however I want it to appear. So once you've got one membership category set up, it's very quick and easy to then go off and do the others. So I just come back over to membership categories and I click on copy. And maybe I would want to call this 2015 Junior Try Membership. I can change the cost of that down. I can change the email template. So maybe for the juniors, I don't want to address it to the actual member. Maybe I want to address it to the parent. That's fine. I can come down here and find wherever it might be. There we go, parent, guardian, first name, and pop that in there. And then I would also do that for the welcome email and the overdue payment reminder. Click on save. And then I'm done. And just because that's a junior one, the form for my juniors is going to be different from my adults. So I'm just going to pop back over here to the form page. And I'm going to load up a junior form. Once it loads up, bit of a go slow. It'll get there in the end. I need to pedal quicker, I think. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to select my junior group. And then I'm going to select from a pre-canned template here, my junior form. And on this junior form, it's got things like, you know, what are your any medical conditions, emergency contact info, photography consent, all those kind of things that you typically need on a junior form. So that's our membership category set up. That's our forms done. We can take a look now at what our registration form looks like. If I click on this tab here, that's going to load it up for me. So I've got my two options here, so I can come in here and select either one of those. And so this is for new members joining, or maybe it's that you don't have a great record of your existing members. Maybe your spreadsheet is a little bit patchy and you want to get people to register from scratch online. So you start with the very latest, cleanest information. So I mean, let's just do a quick registration here. So maybe we're going to say this is Joe Smith. I'm going to skip through the other ones. I've not made them mandatory, just so I can skip through it very quickly. support@paysubsonline.com. The only mandatory fields are first name and email address, and everything else is over to you. Here's one of my favorite questions is what would you like to volunteer for in the club? And you make this mandatory, so they have to complete this instead of them normally skipping over it on a paper form. And then I can come down here, I can submit additional members, or I can just submit and proceed to the next page. And here we go, this summarizes what we've got. So Joe Smith, this is my adult membership. This is what's due, £40 is due now. If you ask them to pre-authorize future payments for, you know, collecting those small weekly fees or training fees, whatever it is, that would have been ticked by default. And then I can come in here and decide how I want to pay. So I've connected a direct debit account to my PaySubs Online account. I've also connected a PayPal account. So I've got a choice of how I want to pay. So if it was by direct debit, I would just select that. And then that would then come over to our direct debit provider. They'd fill in the form here. In actual fact, this bit here would be pre-populated with the form, with the data from the form on PaySubs Online, and they'd put in their sort code, their account number, click on continue, and then that will just transfer the money from their bank to yours. So very similar to an online bank transfer. It just goes through the back system. And if they wanted to pay by card, that's fine. I can click on pay by card, and that then connects through to PayPal. If they've got a PayPal account, they can just log in and they can pay via their PayPal account. If they don't have a PayPal account and they don't want to set one up, that's fine. They can just pay with a debit or credit card there. Okay, so I'm just going to come back over to my administrator's view. So now we've got our category set up, we've done the forms. The next thing to do is add some members. So I've done a bit of a cheat here. I've already imported some members in. I've just created a group here. I've called it holding group. If I click into my adults here, so here's my members, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move them over to the membership group. Now, typically you wouldn't be doing this because we're either going to import them in or we're going to get people to register online. I've just done this for speed of the demo. So I'm going to move these guys over to my adult membership group. And then from this point on, this is what would appear if we did import somebody, import a spreadsheet in, or maybe we added somebody individually. Maybe they gave you a paper form and you put them on the system. The system recognizes you're adding people to a membership category that's got a cost involved, and says, okay, what do you want to do? Do you want to schedule a payment request now? Do you want to do it later? Or do you not want to do it at all? So I'm going to say, yeah, I'm going to schedule a payment request now. And here are all my members. This is how much I'm requesting. This is when that payment request is going to go out, and I can change that. Maybe I want to queue it up to go out at the end of the month. That's fine, I can do that. And if I click on this link here, it will show me the email that's going to go out. So, dear David, this is how much is due. This is what it's for. This here is the link. Sorry, this here is your username. This here is the link to the member login page. And if I click on that, it will show you what that login page looks like. And you can embed this into your website, so it takes on the look and feel of your website. Or you can just link directly to it, whatever you fancy. And if I just click on save and send that email out to all the members, they log in, check their info and they pay. There's an option here as well to turn off that payment request email. Now, you would only typically do that if somebody's given you a paper form and they've given you payment, and you don't want to send them a payment request. Sorry, you don't want to send them an email asking for payment. So you would just turn that off there. I'm just doing it on here because I don't want to send out 59 emails. Okay, click on save and finish, and then that's your membership renewal done. And then obviously you would do that for each of your membership categories. Now the system works in 2-minute cycles in the background, so it's just going to take a couple of moments to process that payment request. So whilst it's doing that, I'm also going to do the same thing for my juniors. So I'm just going to come through here and select a few of those guys. Again, I'm going to move them, but this time I'm going to put them into the junior try group. Click on OK. Schedule the payment request now. There they are. Again, I'm going to turn off the email just because I don't want to be sending out dummy emails, and then click on save and finish. Click on OK. And that will generate. So whilst that process in the background, let me just run you through this. This is our master membership list. So it doesn't matter what category people are in, what groups they're in. This is where we'll find a definitive list of all our members. And here they are, all 173 of them. I'll come back over here. The next is online registrations waiting approval. So if you set the system up not to take payment at the point of registration, they'll end up here where you can review their information, you can approve them or remove them. Perhaps where somebody's gone to register, they've submitted some of their information, but they maybe didn't complete the checkout process there, where you approve them and then they can log in and pay. Administrators, this is so, as we touched upon earlier on, we can give access to club officials so they can log in and they can use some of the tools, maybe access some of them. And this system will just keep track who has access to data and any of the tools. So from a safeguarding perspective, it's always good to know who's got access. Next one here, members on the master membership list but not belonging to a group. Just a bit of a safety net, really, just to make sure that everybody on the system does belong to a group. Lead members, so the system allows you to link members together, and this just keeps track of who those lead members are. And then finally here, members with an auto-generated email ID. Bit of a mouthful, but it's basically when you add somebody to the system that doesn't have an email address, the system will auto-generate an email for them, simply because the system requires them to have an email address, and it just keeps a track of who those people are. Comes in handy when you're sending out payment requests, because obviously but it allows you to print a letter for these guys and then stick that in the post if that's what you want to do. And then we're down to our membership category. So this is what we set up earlier on. And then here I can see that's the holding groups I set up. I can set up other groups as well. So maybe I want to set up a group for E. I can display that in their account so they can update their own info. I can maybe publish that on the registration page so the committee can sign up if we didn't import them in. I can create a group for, let's call it first aiders. Display the form for that on the members online account here, and we can also allow them to sign up, or maybe you want to make an internal group, that's fine. And then we can build a form for each of these groups as well. So for my first aiders, I've got one in here already. I can use, there we go, first aiders, and that will just have maybe their first aid certificate expiry date, who the first aid certificate issuer was, and it just helps you keep track of all useful information like that. Okay, so I'm going to click into our adult membership group, and in here I can add people to this group. So maybe somebody's given you a paper form. Okay, that's fine. You can just come through here and you can enter their information in. What we typically do at the beginning is we import people's information in. So we download a template and then copy and paste your details into the system. We can click in to the members record. So if I want to click into, I don't know, let's click into Oliver's record here. So this will show us all of Oliver's information. And I can see any outstandings, his name. I can view any upcoming payments. I can give him access rights. So maybe Oliver was on the committee, or maybe he's one of the coaches. You can come through here, you can give him full access, which will give him access to absolutely everything, which is basically what you see here. Or maybe it's just access to different groups. So maybe I just want to say, okay, I'm just going to give you access to view and email the adult members. That's fine. So you can lock down and open up all of these different features on the site. So it's very granular in what you can give them access to, which is exactly what you want from a safeguarding perspective. Okay, I'm going to click back one. Okay, so this feature here, and actually I'll just come back to that. I'll just show you what we can do in terms of linking members together. Two reasons why you would link members together. One is if you've got a family membership group and you want to link them together so that just one fee applies to all of them. The other would be if maybe you've got, I don't know, a mum and a dad or a daughter, whatever it might be, and you want to link those two together so they just share one online account. You can do that here. So I don't know, if I type in Joe, click on next, and I want to link him to this person here, that's fine, I can do that. And now those two people are linked together. And then when I look at their account, which I can do here, so I'm going to switch to their members login so I can see exactly what they see. I can see that these two are now linked together, and I can view information on Oliver. And this is what, if I come back over here, so when these guys log in via this box here, this is what they're going to see when they first log in. So I can then toggle between the different members there. I can see their information there. That's fine. For their perspective, they're going to come in here and they're going to fill this in and they're going to check and make sure it's all up to date. And then they'll go to the payment page. So we can see here the payment request that we generated earlier on. So 2 lots of £40. If we'd asked them to pre-authorize future payments, this would be ticked and they'd have to go through that pre-authorization process. But now they can just choose how they want to pay, by direct debit or pay by card. And you as a club can determine how you want to accept payment. You might just want to accept payment by direct debit. That's fine. You might just want to accept payment by card. Fine. Or both, whatever you want. And then they come here and they pay. And as they pay, the money gets transferred to the club and the payments get reconciled automatically. Okay, I'm just going to switch back to the admin login. Just one more thing over here to touch upon. You can export information out. I'll show you that in more detail in the payment reports. But you can send out group emails. So the group email tool is connected to your membership database. So there's no more copying and pasting stuff into Outlook or Hotmail or Gmail or whatever application you use. It's all in one place now, and you can send out an email blast to your entire membership. Maybe you want to send it out to one of the sections. That's fine. Let's do an email blast out to everybody. And you can come in here and write personalized emails. So hi, first name. And then I can just check to make sure that's personalized. Yeah, hi Matthew, that's good. Attachments to that, I can print letters from here like a mail merge. So really handy to have everything in one place. Okay, so with the money coming in, you'll spend 95% of your time over here in the financial section. So once everything's set up and things have been fired off, you're going to be spending your time over here. I'll just show you how to record an offline payment first. So for those people that just don't do online, they're going to give you a check and they're going to force you to walk down to the bank. Okay, there's always going to be people like that. I'm going to click in here to my adult membership group, and I can come in here and I can select how they've paid. So let's say these guys here, they've paid me by check. That's great. I can change this number here, amount due, for any reason. If you need to change that, you can do. You can record part payments too. And I can say, okay, this is how they paid. Fine, I can record that there. Click on save, and then that's recorded against their name. And then I can also where that's going to be reflected. So over here, I'm going to go to financials and payment reports. And here I can see what's been paid in an activity period. So I've got this looking at the last week. So I can see £200 has been paid, and I can click on that and I can see the underlying members there. It will show me what my accounting period is, and you, the administrator, can set that to be whatever you want it to be. What my forecasted income is for the accounting period. That's particularly useful if you've got maybe a rolling membership. The system will calculate what's going to be coming in up until, in this case, the 11th of March. I can see what's been paid for the entire club to date, and I can also see what's outstanding to date. And I can click on these two numbers here. So let me click on that £200. There's the guys that I've just recorded payment from. Once the system goes live for you, these will be this will fill up with all the online payments coming through. You can click on the amount paid here. So I can see exactly how that's been paid. I can see a breakdown of how my income is made up of. Okay, so we've got no online payments here at the moment, but we've got this offline payment view here, and I can drill down further on this. So I can see, okay, who paid me by check, who paid by bank transfer, and so on. If I look here at the amount outstanding, so we just got over £2,000 outstanding. That's for the entire club. But then I can also see that for each of the different membership categories as well, and I can click into these numbers here. So if I look at my adult membership, click on there, we've got £2,000 outstanding. The system will report on how overdue the payments are, when the last reminder was sent out. And let's say, for example, they're not responding to that. Okay, what we can do is come in here, we can select the members, click on email, and then we can send them a chaser. So hi, and then we can insert first name, we can insert the amount due. In actual fact, we can set up a an email template for this, so it will just pre-populate it for us. Click on send, and that sends out another reminder for us. So you can really keep very tight control of what's outstanding, and you can send out reminders all from one place. I'm going to click on this button here. This is going to show me what's what's been paid, pending, and outstanding. What pending means is if somebody pays by direct debit, it takes a few days for it to go through the back system. So we just mark that up as being pending whilst it's waiting to hit your bank account. This will show me what's been paid, pending, and outstanding for the entire club, but maybe I just want to take a view on what's paid, pending, and outstanding for one of the membership categories. That's fine. I can come over here and I can select that option, and it will just bring me back data for that selected membership category. Now, maybe you want to run a monthly report that you want to export out of PaySubs Online and bring into an accounting package. That's fine. You can do that. You can export just the screen data, i.e. what you see here, or you can export detailed data as well. And what detailed data means is that you can get membership information out alongside payment information. So here I've just got first name, last name, email address, but it could be any of these fields that you want to bring out alongside the payment information. And maybe it's a monthly report that you're running, and you don't want to have to come in here each time and select the fields and get it in the right order. You just want to be able to load up, you want to be able to save it first of all, and then next month come in here and just load up your saved search export criteria, so you don't have to go through that process again. Select it and done. That's nice and easy for you. Okay, so I think there's probably just one more thing I would like to show you, and it's probably one of the most powerful features of the site, and that's what happens in 1 year's time. So we've gone through 12 months from the system, you're a black belt on it now, money's coming in, you've got much tighter control, it saved you a whole heap of time. I'll show you now what happens next year when you want to renew members. So you come over to your subscription options and membership categories. There's our old membership category, and we want to renew it. I'm just going to click on renew, and I can change that to next year. So I'm going to call that 2016 adult try membership. I could change the cost if I want to change the cost. I can change, or I can review the membership category settings. If I want to make any changes, fine, I can do that. And what do you want to do? Do you want to renew all members in the old membership category, or do you just want to renew only the ones that have paid? Now, if you've been doing some good housekeeping, you would have weeded out the ones that didn't pay anyway. But if you haven't done that, really the ones that have paid are going to be the ones that are likely to be your members next year. So I'd select that and click on next. And then we're back into that loop though. Do you want to schedule a payment request now? Yeah, absolutely. Here's the guys that paid last year. So I can just come in and I can check, make sure everything looks hunky-dory. Yeah, 2016 adult try, perfect. Click on save and finish. And then that is my renewal process done. So I don't know what that was, maybe 4 or 5 clicks. And I've sent out my renewals for another year. Members get the email, they log into their online account, they make sure their information is still up to date, and they're paid. You just spend your time again over here in the payment reports, checking to see who's paid and who hasn't. So super simple, super quick. And I think that it kind of sums up what we're trying to do with the system. We're trying to make your job as simple as possible. We're trying to make it as quick as possible, so you don't have to spend time doing admin. There are some other features in the site that I won't go really into now because I don't want to over bamboozle you on the first time you're viewing this, but you know, you can do things like organize courses and classes. You can sell kit, you know, maybe it's a running vest, maybe it's a hoodie, whatever it might be. You can organize your events through here. You can do your fundraising. So that there are definitely other bits of the system that you'll probably go into as you start using the system. But that's probably as much detail as I want to go into now. In terms of pricing, there's two elements of cost. There is the cost to the license. Depends on how many members. So up to 200 members, it's £50. Up to 500 members, it's £75, and it increments after that. And then we make a charge for each transaction. So for direct debit, it's 2.95%. For card payments, it's typically 3.95% plus 50p, but if the transaction is £10 and under, it's a little bit cheaper for you there. Typically, the site pays for itself through increased income, so you've got much better control over your finances. So you can track every penny owed. The typical uplift of people using the system is between £1,000 and £3,000. And the amount of time that it can save can be anywhere between 50% and 90%. And these of clubs that are using the system and they're making, they're increasing income and they're saving with time. So I wouldn't really focus too much on cost because that will very much look after itself. The system can help. It can help the membership secretary, it can help the treasurer, it can help the safeguarding officer, it can help the fundraising guy, it can help the coaches. So there's a lot of value in the system. And what I'll do is I'll send you through a copy of our committee handout, which will detail how the system can help all those different roles. You'll also have the confirmation on the price and in there. I'll also send you through a link to the demo as well. And if you want to go in, if you want to jump in and set up a free trial, then please do. You can just do that by clicking that link there. Go in, set up a membership category, build some forms, add some members. If you'd like to have where maybe we just delve a little bit deeper into some of the, I'm very happy to do that. You can reach me at dave@paysubsonline.com. And you can you can ring me on 01892 276. So I think we'll probably leave it there for now. Thanks for joining me for this webinar, and it'd be great to hear from you. Many thanks. Bye for now.